Hello and welcome to another episode of Webinar Wednesday that we're doing on a Thursday. Hi, Kevin and Mark. How's it going?
Good evening, everyone. It's later for us tonight.
Hello, everyone, and hi, Mark. Hi, Megla.
So today's topic is very, very relevant, and there's so many people in our group that ask about this all the time. So we decided to invite our Prasanna from RSJ Inspection to talk about how to vet and verify suppliers in India. Now, I do need to mention that all of the VIS suppliers that we feature are already vetted, so you don't need to follow this sort of process for the VIS suppliers. Of course, you need to make sure that the supplier is right for your specific needs. But in terms of, making sure that the company is a legitimate company, we've already done that for all of the VIS suppliers that we have. So what we're going to be talking about today is mostly for suppliers that you find on Google or, on other websites. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to invite Prasanna on screen. Hi, Prasanna. How are you?
Hi, Megla. I'm very fine, thank you. How are you, Megla? How are you, Kevin, Margaret? Hi.
Well, thanks, Prasanna. Hi.
So good to see
Hi,
you all
Prasanna.
again.
Good to see you again.
Yeah. Nice to see you again. It was always smiling face. Great.
Like
Yeah,
you,
we're always
like
happy.
you. Yeah,
That's
always
amazing.
happy.
Yeah,
Gayatri's
true.
here.
Good
Hi,
place to
Gayatri.
be.
How are you?
Good morning from Scotland.
yeah.
What time is it in Scotland?
What time is it, Santosh, in Scotland? Guess must be
I'm
around
having a look.
10,
Around 10 o'clock. I think 11 o'clock should be Megla.
Oh, 11 o'clock.
11.
Yeah.
Wow.
11 a.m.
Jackie, how are
Yeah,
you?
this is a
Jackie?
good time. This is a good time for Europe, actually. It's pretty early for
Good.
the US, but yeah, 6 a.m. in the US in Eastern. Okay, cool. So what we're going to do today is Prasanna has a presentation, and he's going to be talking about how to vet and verify suppliers in India. And then, of course, we're going to take all of your questions. So while Prasanna is presenting, if anybody has any questions, please type them in the comments wherever you're watching, whether it's LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook. Type all your questions, and then we'll be taking questions either along the way or after Prasanna finishes his presentation. So Santosh says, managing to attend live for the first time. Yes, we usually do these in the morning or very midnight in Europe, 11 a.m. Cool. Okay, awesome. So Prasanna, do you want to share your slides and let's get started?
Yeah, sure, Megla. So thank you. And I'm just sharing the screen now. And so we can start off directly. Hope my screen is visible, Megla, to over you.
Yes. And
I
can
just
you
put it
make
on
it
the,
full screen?
yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
perfect now. So go ahead.
Okay. So, okay, thank you, Megla, for giving this opportunity. And I'm glad over here to share my knowledge on the topic about the important topic for many of the buyers. It's like how to vet and verify the suppliers in India. So I'll get into the slides and presentation so that we can go through these aspects. Okay, so many of the buyers from overseas, they always get this particular part, selecting the suppliers and vetting the suppliers and then verifying them. It's always a great challenge for them. And whenever I used to travel, for the business trip to like UK, Europe, and US, so I always used to get the messages, and then when I interact with the customers, they used to request me like, do you have know any good supplier in India where you can refer us? So like always was a challenge, even before COVID, when I was traveling, these are the questions I used to always get. Then I'll be thinking like, okay, we should do something on this, where we can educate, and then maybe we need to be a support for those type of buyers in their supply chain getting these type of challenges. So I've got the opportunity to share on all this knowledge. Now, as you can see about the supply vetting, it's very important. In a couple of communications or maybe seeing their website, it is suggested not to proceed with the supplier on the order, placing the orders, and getting into the production straight away. So it is important that you follow certain process, and then you do the fact finding checks, and then you evaluate the suppliers and assess them, and then see like if they're going to meet your requirements and expectations, so that that supplier become a reliable and trustworthy supplier for you in longer term. So that's important. And for all the buyers, like Amazon buyers, I think mostly over here the Amazon buyers and sellers, like sellers over here, I would suggest not straight away go into the placing the orders after seeing the very good websites or maybe products or maybe the samples. I would request please follow the process, and here I'm going to help you on all those aspects, how to what are the process involved in this supplier vetting, and then that's going to be like helpful for you in the upcoming days in selecting your suppliers. So here we can go for the benefits. Like it has a lot of benefits for vetting the suppliers. It enhances your confidence, and it enhances your relationship with that particular person in longer term, and you know well about their capacities, capabilities in front upfront before placing the orders. And most importantly, you will get good quality products whatever the volume you are placing, and also the on-time deliveries. So these are all the few benefits which I listed over here. Maybe there are like many benefits which is there when you analyze and then do the fact finding checks before placing the orders with the suppliers. So with this, I will get into the here I just want to highlight the few challenges which I'm going to talk today. It's about that's the key challenges which I've been noticed. One is about the illegitimate suppliers, that is like who are with the not meeting the laws, and who are not meeting the rules and regulations of the countries. So I'm going to talk about that challenge, and then I'm going to talk about the this during these pandemic situations where the whole world is facing. Like in India, we are facing the problem again. It's getting higher cases now, and so where the travel has been restricted. So I'm going to talk about that challenge, and then I'm going to talk about the poor quality suppliers who you if you mistakenly selected the suppliers and maybe you place the order. So what are the going to be challenge you are going to face? We are going to talk about that, and then some of them are new to the overseas sourcing, and we are going to talk about these four challenges in this upcoming my presentation. So that's about the challenges. We are going to talk about the headings, and we are going, and I'm here is about the challenge one, which is about the very important challenges about the suppliers, whether they are legitimate. That's like whether they are meeting the local laws, whether they are meeting the rules of the country, and then regulations of the product. So we're going to talk about that. And there is a risk involved in that. If you have like started working with this type of illegitimate suppliers, that can goes for the commercial risk, and it can go for your reputational stake in that, and then can be a regulatory risk, and can be go for the non-compliance risk. So these are the risks. I'll go for the solutions. I'll focus on the solutions which I can support you and help you on, like what are the experience I got, so that that can help you on the further. So for getting the legitimate suppliers, so here is the few solutions which I want to share it to you, which may be helpful for you. So to getting to know about the legitimate suppliers, there are many sources is there here in India which you can look on, and where you can get to know about that supplier, whether that particular supplier is registered under Government of India, and that particular supplier is authorized to export his or her products to other countries. So those aspects you can check from few of the different sources. So one of them I mentioned is the first is about the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. So this is the site of Indian government. So where they have been like explaining about, like they are given they're giving a lot of services over in this website. I'm going to take through over that website also for a few minutes, so that you know, like there are a lot of services available in this website, that is mca.gov.in. That's under the Indian government, where you can check about the whether the company has been registered under Government of India, and do they have the corporate identification number, and what date they registered their company. So all those details you can have a look over there, and then you can get a confidence whether that particular supplier has been registered under Government of India or not. So that's, I'm going to take you over that website also, and in the upcoming slides. And so second is about you use the different sources of embassy and consulates. So there are many of the embassies and consulates are here in India. Say example, if you are in UK, so UK embassy and consulates, they also sit in here in India, and you want to import goods to UK, and you're going to start working first time in India, and it's going to be a huge volume of orders, and whatever the volume of orders you're going to do, you can contact the UK embassy in India and ask about this supplier, how, whether this supplier has any legal cases or any financial bad debts in the past. So, and also you can check about the history of that particular supplier with the UK embassy and consulates over here in India, and you can get the feedback. And if you get, if you get the feedback like there is no any past history of this particular supplier and they are in good shape, and that helps you also one of the confidence point to make a point for to choose the this supplier. And next is about the export promotion councils. Like there are many export promotion councils are here in India with different product categories. So some of the product categories which some of the promotion export promotion councils what I mentioned over is EPCH, that is for handicraft product, that is export promotion council for handicraft. And there is export promotion council for apparels, that is like AEPC. And then like TEXPROSIL, the Textile Promotion Council of India, that's about for textiles. And then handloom, so HEPC is about the handloom. So these are all the export promotion council. They are like can also help you out because they have the members, like many of the reputed suppliers, like who are all the suppliers or member of this export promotion council. And they become member, the suppliers become member in this promotion council because they get the subsidies, and they get the benefits, and also some of the other aspects when they export the goods to the other countries. So many of the reputed and then like registered and authorized suppliers, they they become the member in this export promotion council. And then you can also check their names in their membership directory. And when it was in their directory, and they may be like reputed and renowned company also, so that can be one of the positive aspect which we can think about, that particular supplier is authorized by government of India. So I'll take you through this website also, so for your easy reference. And then other different sources about like some of the famous trade shows are here in India, for the handicraft products, that is like home decoration items and home goods. It is called like IHGF, Indian Handicraft and Gift Fair. And this is the show where the suppliers, they participate in this trade show. And IIGF is the India International Garment Fair, which is for the apparel. So these are the famous trade shows here in a few of them in India. Where any suppliers they participate over here in these type of trade shows, and it can be possible only they are legally authorized by government of India, because without the business license or without the PAN number, or maybe the GSTN number, so they could not apply for these trade shows to participate. So any suppliers who's participating in these trade shows, or definitely they are like authorized by government of India, otherwise they could not get entry into these type of trade shows to focus to like showcase their products. So that's the other source which you can use. And then the next is about the directories, where you can go to the B2B directories like Global Sales and Trade India and Alibaba, this type of trade B2B directories, where you can also in some of the, like in Alibaba, some of the services are there where is being given as registered suppliers, like there are like checked for the suppliers and verified suppliers, and they are like verified by the third party companies, and when mentioned that these suppliers been audited and verified by the third party companies. So you can go and get the support of these type of B2B directories also, whenever you want to choose the suppliers before you placing the orders. And the final one is like a web domain check. You can, there is a website called whois.com. So this is the website where you can go and put the domain name, the website domain of that particular company, and where you can get all the details about that particular company. When is their website is been started, who is the person started this website, when is been last modified. So those type of ideas you can get on this particular website called whois.com. I'm going to take you through this website also, and so that you will get a good idea about these particular different sources what I'm talking about. So that's about the different sources. And in this one more solution which I want to say is related to verification about the documents and then the certifications, which is like you need to ask for the business license from the suppliers, and then you ask for the import export certification from the exporters, because it is by the DGFT, Directorate General of Foreign Trade. So they are, it comes under the government of India. So when anybody is having this business license and import export certificate, so they are legitimate, and then they are like legally authorized to do that particular business. Otherwise, government of India will not give that particular IEC certificate for them, or also on the business license. Then other one you can ask for is RCMC, that is like registration cum membership certificate. This is been given by the export promotion councils. When any of the promotion comes, as I said, like in the before, so there are like in the handicrafts and apparel export promotion council. So they, when you become the member, and in order to become the member, it's not easy to get this RCMC certificate, because they will be asking all the legal documents before to become the membership of this particular EPC, like export promotion council. So like they used to submit the PAN, they used to submit the business license, they need to submit the IEC certificate, and then they need to submit the GST IN certificate. So once if they submit all those things, then they can get this RCMC membership certificate. So any supplier, you can check for that. And you can also say to the suppliers, like as a part of our process, like your company process, it is important that you need to get these certificates to review before you place the order with the suppliers. So that's going
So,
to put,
Prasanna,
yeah,
real quick question here.
yeah.
So, do you think
Yes,
most suppliers are open to giving these certificates to buyers?
like the supplier, there are some of the traders and some of the suppliers are there who are hesitant. Maybe they are doing with the subcontractors, or maybe they are doing with the they are not the own company, and they are doing through the many other sub suppliers. So they may be hesitant to share this particular aspect, Megla.
Okay.
And
So, in
then you will
case a
get to know.
supplier, yeah, so in case a supplier hesitates to give any of these documents,
Yeah.
then that's a red flag that, maybe they are not a legitimate company, right?
Yeah, yeah. And also, they may be in the initial, they are saying that they are the manufacturer and they are going to do all the communication part and executing the productions and everything. When you ask about these particular aspect, and that will be in the different name, where that particular person is dealing with in the different name, then you can get to know like, okay, he's working with different sub agent company, like that. So you can
Right.
get the red flag during that period, Magla.
Right. And then, so RCMC, is this only given to manufacturers, or can they be maybe merchant exporters or trading companies as well?
So it can be the trading companies also, because even if
Okay.
you see like membership, like we are in the, like we RSJ inspection, we are the membership for EPCH. We are in the membership with AEPC also. So it is like the company who are legitimate and who are under the membership under this Export Promotion Council, they can get this certificate, Megla.
Right. So, what's important to note is that companies that have this certificate, or companies who are part of an export promotion council, they are experienced in exports. So, you can be confident that one, they are legitimate companies, and second, that they are experienced exporters. So, whether or not they are
Yeah.
manufacturers, that's separate. You have to, try to
That
vet
yeah,
that separately, verify that
that
separately.
is to be, yeah, that's here we are talking about the legitimate particular part, whether they are
Yeah.
authorized by government of India, or whether they are registered under government of India. So we are checking on that particular aspect in detail over here, Megla.
Right.
Okay,
So
fine.
yeah, let's
So
move
I
on.
move. Yeah, I move ahead.
Do you want to show the website now? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so this is the website. I'll just go through the browser. So I'll just get onto the browser so it will be easy for you all. So that's the website, MCA, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. So is my screen is visible, Megla, for the website?
Yes.
I hope it is. Yeah, okay. Fine. So it's the Government of India website, and you can see that these are the they act under the Companies Act 1956, and they are helping many of the stakeholders on many of the services, important services. And when you go to the MCA services, and if you go for the master data, which is like a view company or LLP master data, you will get the important information about any company which you want to work, and if they are under private limited, or they are a public limited company, or they are a LLP company. So if they are in that category, and you will get that all informations over here. So here, for an example, I'll take my company, that's like RSJ Inspection Service. So you will get to know uh, about all the informations about our company, what are all the, so you can see that I searched RSJ Inspection, we got it like RSJ Inspection Service Limited, and with the company ID, which is our corporate CIN number, corporate identity number, and I just put it over here, and then I'm going to submit this data. And you can see over here, so all the data about what is been registered under Government of India, it will be showing over here. So you can see that corporate identity number, and you can see that we are a public limited company, and you can see that what is the date of incorporation over here. So we started in 2009, that is 12th of June, it's been registered. You can see the address, it's been registered, and where we are working at the present, our head office, you can see over here, and this is a email ID of the contact person, Sharath. And you can see that when is the last AGM happened, like annual general meeting. So it was like 22nd August 2020. It's been there, which had been done. And this is the important one, which you can check, balance sheet filed. So like any company who are good in their financials, and any good company, they are legitimate, and they follow the rules, and they file their all their income tax and all their profit loss every year without missing. So you can see that it can be updated over here. So in case if this has been like 3 years before or 4 years before this has been, the balance sheet has been filed, then there is a red flag why this particular company is not filed the balance sheet like last 3 years or maybe 4 years. Suppose the company started in 2010 and they filed their last balance sheet in 2012, and like around more than 9 years they didn't file their balance sheet. So and then there may be a problem in their financial, or maybe they not be a legitimate company, so that to work further with them. So you can just verify, and these data are available for all the stakeholders. So looking on the aspects that they need to support for the investors or the buyers who are buying from India. And also you can see about the director identification number, and who are all the directors involved in this company, so with their begin date and all those aspects you can see over here. So it gives a very detailed information, and this all under the Government of India website. So it will be useful for everyone. They can go easily under MCA services, put your V company LLP master data, and then you can get all these data.
And this
So
is for
that's
all states, right? Regardless of which state the company is in.
no, this is, yes, this is for all over India. So with any company within India which falls under the private limited or public limited or LLP company, Megla, and it's very easy, and you can get confidence by going through the details over here.
Okay. Very
Okay,
useful.
and yeah, so it's very simple, and you'll get more confidence by getting their identification number, registration date, when they started, and all those informations you can get it easily, and their directors' names, and that is their registered office address, and all those things you can correlate. And if it is matching to your all communications with the suppliers, then you'll get more confidence to start your journey with that supplier. That's the thing.
So,
Okay.
Prasanna, if I could
Yeah.
just ask a question. If I was a company and, I have very little time to, to have a look behind the scenes, I can hire you and you will give me a detailed report on that, like an audit on that company. Is that right?
Yes, Kevin. Yeah, we can definitely do that. As we being a third party audit company,
Yeah.
we have an experts, we have an auditor who are very professional and who are like experienced more, and they go to the factory and they check on the onlines, and then they check the certifications and reports from the factory also, supplier also, like physical copy when we go to the factory, and we can give a very detailed report. And in upcoming my presentation, like I have some report to show you also. Like we have a
Excellent.
like report template which I'll be showing, like what all the parameters we cover during the check for this audit in the factory.
Okay,
Right.
excellent. Thank
So,
you.
Prasanna, I think we need to move a bit faster through your
Yeah.
presentation because you've
Yeah,
got a lot of slides, and we're
yeah,
almost at
okay.
the 30-minute mark.
30 minutes, right? I think it's
Yeah,
1 hour will not be enough. So I'll just go through quickly on the EPCH website, and I'm
yeah,
not going to the APC and all. So this is the EPCH website where I said like you can go and check the supplier informations. So there is a member section, and you can go for the member directory, and you will get lots of supplier who is in India who is registered under this. You can see the pages, like more than 1,000 pages are over here, and you can select the product category, which product category you want to see the suppliers. So accessories are for curtains, and you can see like many categories are there. You can choose the location, which location you want the suppliers. So this all for home decoration items and home textile items and hot goods, lightings. So all this, so many informations. You can see the website, email IDs, and all informations over here. And if the supplier present over here in this directory, then you may consider this particular supplier can be a legitimate supplier. And and I just want to caution over here. So not like all the suppliers who are mentioned over here is not the like great quality suppliers, or they are like very good. It's not the one which I want the message want to give over here. So they are here in the membership means they passed one initial step, that is they have the registration under Government of India, and they have the authorized by Government of India to export the goods to the other countries. So that's the approval they got. It doesn't mean that they are very good and they're going to be like on all other things perfect. So it's not like that, but you get that basic aspects they are gone through. That's the one caution I want to give over here. And we will go back to the slides so that just I just want to move on because we have short of time. So this is about that, and we said about EPCH and APC. You can go through directly over there, and you can see the membership, and this is this website which this is the challenge I'm talking about, the and the number 2 stage, um, where now as we all in the situations where the travel restrictions been happened. So the COVID again here in India, it's increasing nowadays. And if you see me, like we got like a COVID in our office in last week, and we all started from our south office in home, working from home. Probably will be starting from the next week again back to office. So because of these pandemic situations, there is a travel restriction, and where it has the risk, and also it has restrict us to go to the supplier's place and check what's really happening in person by the buyer. So and also it's there are a lot of trade shows being held due to these physical meetings. And so because of these aspect, visiting in person, it's getting a lot of difficulties. And for this, there are few solutions which we also experience. Like in our company, we do like a lot of virtual meetings with our customers. And when we do the virtual meetings with our clients, and even we it's like a face-to-face meeting, and then like face-to-face video call meeting. And when the clients see us, and when the client talk to us in the virtual meeting, they get the confidence. And especially when we go with the PowerPoint slides, like when you have any needs, any expectations and requirements for your suppliers, it is suggested you go with the written documents, and maybe you put like 1 or 2 slides, what is your expectations and needs, and go with the virtual meeting, and then have a video call virtual meeting one to one. So that's going to help for the enhancing the confidence and trust with that supplier, whether they are that person, there is a person who is dealing with you, so you get that type of confidence. And then you also choose the factory virtual tour. Like you can ask the supplier, like they can just go through the all the flows and all the departments of the factory. You can take one particular day appointment. You can say that I want to spend one complete full day to see your factory right from the beginning. Suppose if it is an apparel factory, you can ask from the right from the fabric storage, cutting, stitching, packing. So, and then you want to see like all the machineries. And you when suppose if you have your own checklist of audit, you can also say to the supplier, I want to do the own checklist of my audit. And so you can also check whether they do the fabric incoming inspections, and if they're doing, like, what standards they're following, and do they have internal quality team to do the check for the quality monitorings. So those checklists you can also do in virtual. That's also possible. And then the solution for me, like what I would also suggest is, if you have a continuous more orders, it is also a good suggestion to hire your own local representative, where that person can go to the factory locally and do the checks regularly in the factories. And in case if you have a not like a huge volume of orders, and then you can also hire a third party assessments like us, company like us, where we can go and check on behalf of you about the factory, how it's going on over there. So especially during these pandemic situations. And I go for the challenge next is about the poor quality suppliers. So this is a important one, like where when you choose this incompetent or poor quality suppliers, there you it's going to impact you a lot in the upcoming like during the production stages. One is about the deliveries. You'll be like always uncertain about your deliveries. And then about the quality problems what you're facing from the right from the beginning, like maybe in the pre-production samples or maybe during productions. So all those quality issues in product, it can happen when you choose poor quality suppliers. And those suppliers can happen for poor infrastructure as well. So not like a required machineries and equipments available in the factories. So these are some of the challenges. And here are these some of the solutions which I want to share. One is basically like you want to draw your supplier profile. So based on your product volume and the volume of orders what you're going to place, or maybe the product requirements. So before directly going and placing the orders, first draw your supplier profile, how your supplier should be, whether they are a medium sized supplier, or high volume based suppliers, or they are a low volume based suppliers. Or you want to be a high cost customer or supplier, or you want to be a low cost supplier, or if your products are highly innovative, like there are a lot of designs and so many as other aspects. So then you need to consider like innovative type of suppliers. So you need to jot down that first, what type of supplier profile you want to work, then make the potential supplier list. So you list down like 100 suppliers or 200 suppliers. Okay, these are the suppliers who are coming in my profile. After then you start assessing them. So in order to get the quality supplier, you can ask for the certifications what they have, like audit certification like ISO, SEDETS, and you can ask for the BSCI, RAP, and SA 8000. These are all the globally recognized certifications. And any supplier following these type of highly accredited certifications, they may be having a good quality standards in the factory. So that's the one checkpoint which you can have. And I know some of the Amazon buyers, like Amazon sellers, are like having a very low volume, and then I understand they are like dealing with the small quantities. In that case, when you start seeing all these aspects, it may be difficult for you to get the suppliers who is coming under these type of certifications. However, you can, in that case, you can hire a third party audit company like us, and before placing the order, so that we can go for the factory and check the basic aspects in the factory and see like whether they can produce your products or not. So that one you can get a support from us. And also one more thing, like when they don't have this type of certifications, you can also get it checked from their existing customers. You can ask the who are their existing customers, and ask some of the reference name, contact name, email ID, phone number, call to them, speak to them, and you're working with this supplier for last 3-4 years, which I came to know from this supplier. Or how is their performance, how is their delivery, how is their product quality, and you can ask those comments from them. And then when you get the positive feedback, then you can look on to choose this supplier. So that's the solutions. I just move on. And Megla, you want to say something? I just
Yeah,
was
I just
hearing
want to
some.
say, you just heard something. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I just want to say that I think the point that you made about Amazon sellers, I think that's really good. And maybe we can expand a little bit about on that. So, what type of suppliers should Amazon sellers look for? And Amazon sellers are, of course, looking for maybe smaller quantities, but they are also maybe new to the product line. So, sometimes they need help with actual product development. So, do you have any tips, for Amazon sellers specifically on what types of companies they should look for?
Like I would suggest they need to go with the SMEs, like small medium enterprises, because as they have the volume less quantity, and you need to choose when you go with the big suppliers, they may not obey you, or they may not respect all the requirements what you are saying to that particular big suppliers, because they are working in volumes, huge volumes. And when it comes for the smaller quantity, they may say like, okay, let's keep it in the last priority, and then anyway I have like a bigger volume which I need to do it complete faster. So that generally it happens. So I would suggest, there are good companies who follow the quality management QMS systems, and then they follow the other parameters and requirements to meet the clients expectations in the small and medium sector also. So if they can choose that type of supplier, and if they work with that small and medium, that will be a win-win for all of us, like for the supplier and for the buyer, and also for the end consumer who's going to use that product, because it's going to be built with the high quality product. So that's the suggestion from my end, Megla.
Okay, great. Let's move on to the next one.
Yeah, so I'll just move on to the next one. This is the simple factory audit report. I just want to go through quickly on that. We will just go through here. So this is our model simple factory audit report, how it looks. So this is the third party audit, what we do to our clients. You can see that. So any report, it's very important you go through the first 2 pages very much in detail, because the first 2 pages, it's very it covers all the information about the other 17 pages. You can see the total 17 pages, and in the first 2 pages you will get a lot of information about this particular whole audit. So here is the remarks and observations. You can see that the auditor had been mentioned about a lot of informations. The factory cooperation attitude is good. The vendor is a real manufacturer, it's not a trader. Housekeeping is average, and the factory has a good sales department. Overall quality management system is like 20%, and those all informations you'll get. And these are all the red highlighted informations where it was not found in the factory, where there is an improvement is required. So we had given the rating also over here, that is like unsatisfactory, needs improvement, satisfactory, outstanding. So based on this particular audit, it's coming under unsatisfactory. All the red highlighted are the improvements which the factory needs to do. So example, they are saying there are no approved samples available in the production line, and there is no any inline inspection or final QC is happening, and there is no records available. So quality management system found to be like very poor in this factory. So I'll get into these other data. Like these are all the factory all information. So how much bigger is this? 700 square meters, and what is the payment terms they work? What is the last year turnover? Which are all the investment they made? And then what are all the total employees they have? 65. And you can see like the product categories, what product ranges they work, and production capacity, how much capacity they can do into 1200 pieces per day, and total lead time. And also you can see all the customers where they work, like the percentage of exports what they do. And next goes to their organization chart, and all the machineries and factory layout, factory production flows. So those all photos you'll be getting. And this is the section where you get for the all document verifications. We check on the business license, we check on the export license. So this particular factory are not provided the business license, so it comes under the not satisfactory criteria. And you can see that we asked for the any other certificate for ISO 9001, they don't have. And then social SA 8000 certificates, we check on all these documents. And you can see like all there is a certificate they gave on the payrolls and attendance, and then they gave about environmental certificates. And next goes for the different parameters on the basic aspect of quality management system. So we check on the basic aspect, whether they do the inspections or not, do they have the quality team, and all those questions we ask, and that covers these sessions. And these are all the different questions we ask, and we mark them, we score them according to that. And finally, like they came as the score of overall rating as 20%. So that's the score they got. And so this is the report which we provide for our clients who is requesting for the simple factory audit. So any client,
That is
any
very
buyer.
comprehensive. It doesn't look like a simple factory audit. It looks like a very comprehensive factory audit.
So yeah. So it's a one complete 8 to 9 hours of work where the our auditor goes to the factory, and then he visit all the sections, all the floors, all the departments in the factory, and he take the photos, he check the business license, he check the import export license, he check the all other certifications what they have, example ISO, SEDEX, RAP, and all those certifications, and he attach. And then so when he give this and also he checks about what all the customers they work, what percentage they work for US, what percentage they work for other countries. So he make a very detailed report on this simple factory audit. And something is a detailed technical audit and detailed social complaints audit. It goes like around 50-60 pages, where every department it goes in very detail. So that's a very detailed report. Uh, so anyone needs, like, I just want to share here. So this is our website. When you go to the rsjqa.com, and there is a useful corner and there is a sample model report, you will get all the reports over here. Like if you want to check for any model report for the apparels, and if you want to check for the not all the reports, most of the reports you will get over there, like fabric reports. You can check for the hard goods reports. You can check for the leather goods reports, and you can check for the audit reports. So anybody wants to go, and it's free, and there is no any like downloading. Just you want to enter your details over there, and that's all. And then you
So,
can download
Prasanna,
this.
how much does a simple factory audit cost, approximately?
It is like 265 US dollar plus GST and OP if it is out of out of other location, Megla.
Okay, so if it's not in one of the major cities, then
So
I guess you'll
that's
have the
in India. Yeah.
transportation. You'll
That's
have
in
the
India. Yes.
transportation cost. Yeah,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
India. Yeah.
In
Okay.
India, yes, yeah. So if it is like we are in locations in Mumbai, Bangalore, and then Tirupur, and then Noida. That's in our head office. And if it is coming under these locations, there is no any travel expenses involved. So it's like only the audit charges and then GST. And in case if you want to travel to Jaipur, Moradabad, or maybe like other locations like Chennai or something like that, then it needs the travel and hotel expenses, Megla.
Okay.
But I think at the moment though, because of the sort of COVID or restrictions to travel, to do a virtual sort of check, isn't that great peace of mind? And that's cheap for peace of mind to check out that factory and have the paperwork to know that at least you're dealing with a decent factory.
Yeah, yes, Kevin. Actually, now, like as the like last couple of months, it was little not that much stricter in traveling in India. So we are
Yeah.
been like mostly traveling to many factories and conducting the inspections and audits. And so now the restrictions are getting higher. Like example, they are requesting for the RT-PCR report, that is the COVID test report, when you go from the one state to the other state. And then some states they are making the curfew in the night, so there are some travel restrictions are coming. And then we also getting the submitting the request to the client, can we do it in virtual, like can we do the audit in virtual, so that supplier they can just do it on the video mode, and they can show all the certifications documents to us, and they can take through us through the all places in the factory, factory tour from the all the sections. So through that we can also prepare the report. But there are some points where we need to see, that is it is not the actual as accuracy as like where we the auditor go to the factory and do it. So there may be some shortcomings, but like for the overall view we can get it through the virtual mode, Kevin.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Okay, we've
So
got
I will.
one question. We've got one question from Santosh. Does the inspection include safety regulations or quality of product protection and packaging? Example, protection of wood products.
So
So,
related to the safety regulations, like there are these type of safety regulations. It is not covered on the inspections, and it is like to be done under the testing. So testing under the laboratory, we need to send those type of products and check the materials for various parameters, and then get the result for that particular aspect on the safety. And related to the visual part, related to the visual aspect, anything like mold formation in the product, or anything like very bad odor, like very bad smell on the product, which is like on visual aspect, where it can be highlighted and can be checked in the inspection part. However, when you want to say about the material when it contacts with the food, how it is going to be for the human, is it going to be safe for that particular human, when because that is going to be in touch contact with the food particles. So those type of testings, it is to be done under the laboratory, under the particular standard, Omega.
Okay. Okay, let's keep moving.
Yeah, okay, thank you. That's my last about the challenge for about many of the Amazon sellers, like new to the overseas sourcing about like buying from India. So they are in lack of knowledge on the market, and then the basic laws and regulations, and about the cultural difference. Here is some of the solutions from like my end. So understand the basic laws and basic regulations and rules in order to export from India. So check on those aspects. You can get in touch with some of the many of the advocates are available in the online, and where you can talk with them and understand about the basic policies about the government in working with India country, and then check about the culture, learn about the culture also. So like India is a vast country with many different states. So like in South India, there is a different festivals, and there are different holidays goes on, and there are like the mentality of the workers, the skilled laborers, everything differs from the South to North India. So learn about those things, and that can help you like getting your shipment with the right quality and then on time um, um, delivery also. So that's about the few things about you need to learn when you are new to any country in sourcing your product. And final is my summary about vetting the suppliers and verifying your suppliers is very, very important. I just want to summarize, like we talk about the legitimate suppliers, it's very important, which you can go with the many different sources, as I explained, like MCA, EPCH, and then like other websites which I have been shown to you. You can work on that and check on their documentations, like business license, and then IEC, import export documentations. And so those things will help you to know your suppliers, whether they are legitimate or they are going out of the any local laws or rules. And during this mode of like a pandemic, it always suggested like before placing the order, that there is no option for you to come and directly check the supplier place. You can do it in the virtual mode, as I explained. You can have that virtual video one-to-one meeting, and which can be effective as well, to understand your expectations, their expectations, to explain your needs and expectations, so that they know your actual requirements to deliver to you. And in case you want to hire a third party for this, and you can also do that. And then for the related to the getting a quality suppliers, which you need to really look on, that is list your potential suppliers, and then assess them for their quality management systems. So do they have the quality department, and do they have any certifications, do they have their internal QC team, any reports been made, as those things. And whether your product requirements and regulations they are meeting, do they have any manual for that. Check all those things. And if you need a support from any of the experts, you can also contact either the laboratory or maybe the third party companies to check and to get the support from those aspects. And lastly, checking on the basic aspects about the country related to the legal aspects, and then the policies and cultures. So that completes my presentation. And thank you very much for all of your time, Megla and everyone.
Thanks a lot, Prasanna. That was awesome. That was really in depth and very detailed. So, really good presentation.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you. A lot of information there for people to
Yeah, I
get
think
their head
that'll,
around.
but that'll help people. I think we have, when people ask a question, how do I bet my supplier? It's all there for them, spelled out. So they can
Absolutely.
either get it done or they can do it themselves. So they've got a couple of options as well. So I think it should help a lot of people who are a bit nervous about just going to a supplier that they don't know.
Look,
Yeah.
I think if I was a first time buyer in India, and I had a particular company or a particular product. I think to actually get a company like RSJ to actually do that audit for me, I think that's just part of the part of doing business and finding out. And once you've actually got the sort of right certifications and you're dealing with the right company, then the relationship will flourish quicker rather than sort of being tentative at first because I don't know if they're going to lose my deposit and I'm going to lose my are they going to make a good job, because having that piece of paper that you've done the audit, I feel a bit safer for my risk.
Yeah. And it doesn't cost a lot. I mean, if you're placing an order of, tens of
Absolutely.
thousands of dollars, 265
Yeah.
is nothing,
No.
to safeguard all of your investments. Okay, we have a couple of questions. So Faik Tadros is asking, how can you check on the integrity of the inspector for large orders? Yeah, this is a very important question, and this comes up so often in QC and inspection, and yeah. So, do you want
So
to
yeah,
address this, person?
yeah, I understand, and it's an interesting question actually. Many of the buyers they have this question like how the integrity is being taken care whenever, especially when you place the large orders. And yeah, so it's a valid a question which arise with many of the buyers. So mostly for this particular part, when you take our company, we take lot of measures on this particular aspect. So it's a uh, right from the beginning we have a culture in our company, we have the detailed code of conduct. So before we hire any person to our company, from that beginning stage, the level of procedures and the systems what we train to that particular inspectors, it goes in a very detailed way. And right, if you see our website, we have published our detailed code of conduct over there, where it explains our culture of the company. and and as we being a third party inspection company, and this particular aspect is like a zero tolerance for us, and there is no any tolerance for us to take up on that. And here we take a lot of measures, we have a managers on who is a separate department working on this integrity, where they regularly monitor the team's performance. And we do have the online application, like it's called as a online live track application. It's a Q track, where we can check on the all activities who's whether it's happening in the factory right from the 9 a.m. to till 6 p.m. If he's working in the factory, we can check on all the parameters what he is doing in the factory, because it's a live all records, it's happening in that particular app. And our integrity manager, we have our integrity department, where they regularly visits the factory as a surprise, or get the call to the suppliers and get the feedback about the particular inspectors. And we also believe on the rotational policies. We do not keep the particular one inspector in one area or maybe the same factory again and again, where there is a familiarity risk can happen. So we believe that we want to rotate that particular QC in different parts of the country. And also when that we also study about if that particular QC is going or auditor is going to the same factory again and again, we stop that and see like how we can monitor that and change that. So that's the steps we take. And we have that very high standards in that particular aspect, Megla, and we monitor that in very detail on the same.
Right. It's really good that you actually have an integrity department. So, Faik, I think that should give you some confidence.
And yeah, especially we being in third party inspection company, this particular topic is very sensitive for us. And when you see our vision, we want to be a highly respected, highly innovative, and highly quality service oriented company. So when we want to be in that type of vision, it is very important that we follow this culture, which is very much important. I can share one example, Megla. In the normally when our QC travel in train, like in India, if it is a confirmed ticket is not there, we always go to the TTR and say like, okay, there is we don't get the confirmed ticket, so like we pay like additional 500 rupees and you give any confirmed ticket to us. So this was the practice was going on in the initial periods. Then there was a question happened in our company, why we are paying that 500 rupees to the TTR. We should pay that 2,500 rupees, which is the actual cost for that extra ticket during the confirmation, during the travel. We should pay that 2,500 rupees. That is like 5 times, or sometimes it may go like 10 times cost also. And we took the decision, we should not pay any cost as a bribe to any TTR. We should pay the full cost and then travel. So that's the culture we have been impacted in our company, Megla.
Right.
So
Okay, we have a couple more questions.
yeah.
Santosh is asking if you have recently conducted a QI of a supplier manufacturer, and if a new client incidentally wants to check on the same company, do you do the inspection again, or do you advise the new client not to proceed with investing in the QI again?
Okay, so the QA in the sense I believe here is a quality inspection.
Quality
So
inspection,
quality
yeah, or
inspection,
maybe
I think
quality audit of the factory, I
he wants
guess.
to say as a quality audit. I think it's a
I think
quality
so. Yeah,
audit. Yeah,
audit. Yeah.
quality audit. Yeah, quality. Actually, like we need to see the duration of particular period also, Megla. Like suppose when we have done the audit for that particular factory in, say, example, in the month of April, and the new client comes like by say like end of this year, and he comes up and asks for the audit for that factory. So during this period, there may be a lot of changes can be happen in the factory. There may be bought a new machineries, they may expanded newly, and they may get into the different product categories. So many changes might have been happened. So if the duration is like if it is less than 1 month, we can look on to consider that. And also one client informations, there are some of the confidentialities also there. We could not share that particular aspect. Like maybe some of the client have that particular checklist to do that audit, and same audit checklist with this with that particular client information sharing to other client, that may be confidentialities breaches will be there. So that also we need to see on that particular part, Megha. So we suggest that whenever the audit comes, even if it is a different client, it's better to do the re-audit again in the supplier place and looking on their particular requirements, what they're expecting from that factory, from the supplier.
Yeah, because each
Yeah.
buyer's needs are different and they need to check on different things. Maybe for some buyers, capacity is more important. Maybe for some others, like certain machineries are more important.
And some to avoid these type of problems, only SEDEX platforms are there now. So like platform like SEDEX, where like one single report of that particular factory can be shared by many customers in that group, in that SEDEX platform. So if it is a factory has been audited in this year, and in UK, if another retailer wants to see that audit, he can go and check the same audit report. And if he feels satisfactory on that particular period, this audit report is okay as per his expectations, so he will not initiate for other one audit. So those type of platforms can help also.
Are those
That's
reports
great.
available for free for to everybody, or do you have to
No,
be a
no,
SEDEX member? You have to be a
SEDEX member.
member of SEDEX,
We should
yeah.
be a SEDEX member. Yes, not for the
Yeah.
Amazon. Unfortunately, not for
Yeah.
Amazon.
So the bigger buyers.
Yeah.
Santosh is saying, I always find the WIS meetings extremely helpful and provide objective information. Thank you, Megla and team, and Prasanna. You're most welcome, Santosh.
That's good.
Okay, great. So, guys, if you have any more questions for Prasanna, please type them in the comments now. We're going to start wrapping up over here. So, Prasanna, do you want to tell us a little more about your other services? So, of course, you do factory audits, but then what are the other types of services that you offer?
We do help on customers for the quality inspections. That is like pre-shipment inspections. We do during production inspections, and we do like or fabric inspections for the apparels, and we do the sample evaluations. Like if the sample is very important and you have like a lot of quality problems in the sampling stage, we can check the samples and then evaluate and give the sample evaluation report to you. We check on the color evaluations like apparels and home textiles products. We do check on the color evaluations or those particular surveys. And one of the other services like production monitoring. Like we go to the fact sometimes if the buyers are not getting the response from the suppliers, what's happening in their factory. So we go to the factory and check like each stages what's happening in right from the raw materials to the production stage. We take the photos, make it in a detailed report, and we send it to the customers. Those service we provide. In audit, we do, like as I said, we do a very detailed technical audit, a social complaints audit, simple factory audit report, which I shown to you, the model report. Like many of the Amazon seller, they're coming for inspections, but after our engagement, as I said, our virtual engagement with the Amazon sellers and other customers are going very great for us, like video one to one, and then with the PPT mode, and understanding their needs and expectations. Then some customers, they come for inspections, but they stop and say, okay, let me go with the simple factory audit first, and then I will go for the inspections later. So those always the request used to come for us. So these are all the services what we do, and we do cover in India, and we have a team in Pakistan, we have a team in Bangladesh, and we have our team in Vietnam and China. So we do work on these countries as well. So anybody has any other service, any support on these countries also, we will be happy to support and help them on these countries on our services.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Because we've been getting a lot of people asking in the groups, Margaret, haven't we, of certain things. Sort of Vietnam and some of the comments.
Yeah, it's good to know that you're available to do all those. And I mean, we've actually seen you've presented once before about doing your quality inspections, and we've seen the paperwork that you give, and boy, there's everything involved in that. It's amazing how much detail is in it. How many pages are in a quality inspection sheet?
Come again, Margaret?
How many pages are there in a quality inspection sheet?
So it's around more than minimum 50 pages, Margaret. Minimum 50 pages, 50. It's a very detailed report.
It's a very detailed report.
and if they see the first initial 2 or 3 pages in very detailed way, they will get other all abstract of the reports. That initial 3 pages are very important to go through.
The summary.
The summary of the report. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I like the Prasanna when you mentioned an Amazon seller, supplier profile for a small or medium, and most people just starting off on first time buyers in India that might be looking to not particularly a large factory, but a small family run, so small to medium, but a family run business. So that the family run business, once you've connected, you're sort of dealing with them one on one, and it's sort of the family who sort of run the business, but still they may not sort of have the right certification, but for you to go in there and check on that certification, that's a really value added.
True.
It's a lot of value.
Yeah, true. They may need some time to get those type of accreditations and certifications, but when you see if you're placing the smaller orders, and if you can go like virtual tour, or maybe virtual mode of visiting the factory, or maybe if you hire us, we can give that overall picture whether they have the basic all the infrastructure to produce their products or not. And if they get that confidence, they can go and place the small order initially, and they can check whether they're performing good or not. That can be checked.
Right. Fantastic. Well, Prasanna, thank you so much for your time today and for giving this very comprehensive presentation. It was very, very useful. A lot of good tips there. And guys, contact Prasanna if you have any questions, or if you want to get a factory audit or inspections or anything related to quality control inspections in India. RSJ Inspections is the company to go to. That's his email address, prasanna@rsjqa.com. And if you're in our Facebook group, in the India Sourcing Facebook group, then Prasanna is there as well. You can post a comment or tag him in a post, and he will answer your questions there as well. Okay, we've got one more question before we go. How big is the team for RSJ Inspections? What all industries can do inspection?
So we are 50 plus team members right now at the present, and we do serve for industries like home decoration items, furnitures, and apparels, fabrics, textiles, shoes, leathers, and some of the electrical items like lightings. So we do serve for these industries, Megla.
Right. So basically, all industries that are manufactured in India, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
food items we don't do for the food items. Yeah, and
Okay.
highly big machineries, and so those type of, and even we are not in the construction inspections like home inspection. Those aspect we are not into that. So all
Right.
others, the consumer goods, we are mostly there in many of the industries, Megla.
Cool.
That's
Okay,
fantastic.
Mark, Kevin, anything else before we sign off?
Well,
No, I think
it's
that's been
fantastic,
great.
and it's really good to. I mean, I just sat back and watched there tonight, Prasanna, because when we do our Viz show, I mean, a lot of our people that we've found on that, for our Viz shows, um, we do those sort of checks with you, sort of, the sort of 1 to 6. That's our standard sort of checks for our, to qualify those factories to come on the show, and a lot of the registrations, we check that they've got those sort of registrations, SEDEX, etc. And there is by manufacturing, different factories and different manufacturers will have different standards or different certifications, and it does get a little bit complicated. And I do feel that to sort of go to someone like RSJ, that will cut down a lot of time for you. And I think $250 is an absolute bargain.
Yeah.
Because you can save a lot of legwork, a lot of time, and get a nice shiny report. And you're on your way to deal with the right company. Fantastic.
Yeah, and just one thing I want to say, Kevin, like our company has a purpose called responsible value creation. So it's not only for the any support related to the service like inspections or audits, only that inquiry to come for us. No, it's not like that. If you need any support on the quality aspect, like where you need to know about the quality equal levels, which product, what equal needs to be followed, or any questions any buyers they have on the quality, I would suggest like they are most welcome to contact us. And in the part of quality, we can guide them, and then we can give our standards to them, so that that can help them. Even though if they're not getting a service from us, it's okay. That's fine. We can help them on the quality doubts what they have in the
That's a
inspections or
very
on
that's a
audit
very
part.
dangerous thing you've said, Prasanna. You said it. You're going to get so many emails now.
So as I said, Megla, like we have that value proportion for our company, and we can do that particular part. uh,
Yeah,
as far as if they have like small questions on the qualities, and they want to clarify on the equals and which standard needs to be used for which product, so those questions they can drop us, and we can happy to reply on them, and then that can improve on their product quality level also.
absolutely.
That's possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because these are the usual things that people will sort of find out and research as they visit trade shows. And, people who've never, sourced before will find out, walking through a show, talking to one person to the next person, and they'll pick up valuable information as to what they need to source those sort of products from any particular place. And with not being able to go to trade shows, it leaves people in a little bit of a no man's land. And so to have a resource like yourself that you can go to and get some valuable information is it's very good, fantastic.
Yeah, sure, Kevin.
Definitely. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the presentation. I think, Prasanna, we're getting a lot of comments. A lot of people liked the presentation. They're saying really useful info. Thanks so much. Fab session, very informative session. So, yeah, once again, thanks a lot for the presentation, and we will see you around. All right, guys, thanks a lot for watching, and we will be back next week with another webinar Wednesday. Bye bye.
Thursday.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.